My girlfriend said, "Stop crying about your mom's cancer. You're ruining my Vegas vibe." I replied, "You're right." Then I canceled our Vegas tickets, canceled her credit card, and changed the locks. Her frantic, hysterical call from the airport gate when she was denied boarding. I, 32 male, am writing this from my childhood bedroom at my parents' house. Not because I have to, but because I need to be here. My world imploded about 72 hours ago, and the fallout is just beginning. My mom has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. She's been fighting for a year, but we got the call on Tuesday that the chemo failed. The doctor was gentle, using words like palliative and comfort. My dad, a man I've seen cry twice in my life, broke down on the phone. I was a wreck. I'm still a wreck. My girlfriend of 3 years, Corinne, 29, lives with me in my condo. Her reaction to my mom's initial diagnosis was lacking. She was sympathetic for a day, then annoyed that I wasn't bouncing back fast enough. Our sex life tapered off because I was, understandably, depressed. She complained I wasn't taking her on enough dates. But Tuesday was the breaking point. We had this trip to Vegas planned for this weekend. It was for her 30th birthday, a huge deal for her. I'd booked non-refundable flights on my card, a suite at a high-end hotel, dinner reservations, the works, all on my dime as usual. She works part-time in marketing but spends most of her money on clothes and brunch. I've always been the provider, which I was fine with when things were good. I was in my home office, off the phone with my dad, just staring at the wall and silently crying. We were discussing hospice. Corinne walked in, already in a bad mood. She was holding a sequin dress up to herself in the mirror. "Are you still moping?" she asked. Not "what's wrong," not "how's your dad?" but still moping. "I just got off the phone with my dad," I said, my voice hoarse. They're stopping treatment, Corinne. It's hospice now." She let out a long, theatrical sigh, the kind you let out when your barista gets your phone wrong. "Leo, I know, it's sad, I get it, but we are supposed to be packing. My 30th is in 2 days. I've been looking forward to this for months." I just stared at her. I couldn't form words. She huffed again. "Look, I'm sorry about your mom, okay? I really am. But you've been a total black cloud for weeks. You need to snap out of it." She threw the dress on the bed and crossed her arms. "Seriously. Stop crying about your mom's cancer. You're ruining my Vegas vibe." I'll never forget that. Ruining her Vegas vibe. Something in my head it wasn't anger. It was silence. Like a circuit breaker flipped. The grief, the stress, the sadness, it all just crystallized into this cold, quiet clarity. I looked at her. I'm sure my eyes were red. "You're right," I said. My voice was monotone. "My mistake." She blinked, surprised by the lack of a fight. Then she smiled. A smug, satisfied little smile. "Good," she said, patting my shoulder. "See? Now I'm going to go get my nails done for the flight. We leave at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Try to pull yourself together. I want to have fun." She grabbed her purse and left. I sat there for maybe 10 minutes. Then I opened my laptop. Step 1. The trip. The trip. I logged into the airline's website, found our booking. The tickets were non-refundable, but they were convertible to a travel credit. In the name of the original purchaser, me, I clicked Cancel Reservation. A $1,200 credit was instantly added to my account. Next, the hotel. My deposit was lost, but I canceled the remaining nights. I ate the $400 deposit. It was worth it. Step 2, the finances. I logged into my credit card account. Corinne was an authorized user on my Platinum card. It's what she used for, well, everything. Her Vegas outfit budget, her nails, her Starbucks. I clicked her name. Report card lost, stolen, or deactivate? I chose deactivate authorized user. A pop-up asked for a reason. I typed no longer authorized. Click. Done. Step 3, the home. It's my condo. I bought it 5 years before I met her. Her name is on nothing. Not the mortgage, not the utilities, not the lease. There is no lease. She's a long-term guest, a guest who is no longer welcome. I called a 24-hour locksmith. "Hi, I need an emergency rekey on my front door and deadbolt. I had a security compromise. How soon can you be here?" He said an hour. Step 4, the stuff. 2 a.m. I couldn't look at her things. I called my sister Maya. She lives 10 minutes away. I told her what happened. The string of curse words she unleashed would have made a sailor blush. "I'm coming over," she said, "with boxes and wine." By the time the locksmith arrived at 8:30 p.m., Maya was already there, methodically and furiously packing Corinne's 800 pairs of shoes and endless supply of beauty products. "You go be with Mom and Dad," she ordered me. "I'll handle this." The locks were changed by 9 p.m. Maya finished packing everything into 28 boxes and 4 suitcases. She paid the building super $100 to move them into the secure storage unit in the basement. I drove to my parents' house. I held my mom's hand until she fell asleep. I finally cried again, for the right reasons. My phone started buzzing at 6:45 a.m. the next morning. I was asleep on the couch. It was Corinne. I let it go to voicemail. It rang again and again. On the 6th call, I picked up. I put it on speaker. My dad and Maya were both in the kitchen drinking coffee. They looked at me. Leo, what did you do?" The hysteria was immediate. She was screaming. I could hear the airport announcements in the background. "Good morning, Corinne." "My ticket, it's gone. The lady at the counter said the reservation was canceled. She said I'm not on the flight." "That's correct, I canceled the trip." "You what?" "My birthday, my Vegas trip. You can't, I'm at the airport. I tried to buy a new ticket, and my card was declined. My card, Leo, the one you gave me, it was declined at Starbucks and at the ticket counter." "What is going on?" I took a sip of coffee. "I deactivated your authorized user card. It's my account, Corinne. I'm not paying for things anymore." There was a long, stunned, whistling silence. Then a shriek that probably made TSA agents reach for their sidearms. You bastard. I'm coming back to the apartment right now. You're gonna pay for this." You're psycho." "Don't bother," I said, my voice still quiet. "The locks are changed." "You what?" "The locks are changed. Your things are in 28 boxes and 4 suitcases in the building's basement storage unit. My sister Maya will coordinate with you to schedule a pickup time. Do not try to come to my parents' house." You can't do that. I live there. You can't just kick me out. I'll call the cops. I'll sue you." "You don't live there, Corinne. You were a guest, and your stay is over. My mom is dying. I'm going to go sit with her now. Goodbye." I hung up. Her number blew up my phone for the next hour. Texts, calls, voicemails. I just blocked the number. Then, about an hour later, a new number called. I answered. It was her mother, Brenda. "Leo, honey," she said in this fake sweet voice. "Corinne just called me. She's hysterical. There must be some terrible misunderstanding." "No misunderstanding, Brenda. I ended the relationship." "But her things? You locked her out?" "Leo, that's not legal. You have to let her in. She needs her clothes. And you canceled her cards? How is she supposed to live? She's at the airport with no money." "She's an adult, Brenda. She can get an Uber. She has a job. I'm sure she has her own debit card." You know she doesn't make that much. You always took care of her. Leo, this is cruel. After all we did for you, welcoming you into our family, and right before her birthday? You know how much this trip meant to her. The entitlement. It was staggering. "Brenda, my mother is in hospice. Corinne told me to stop crying about it because I was ruining her vibe. The conversation is over. I'm blocking your number now." I did. I'm now sitting here waiting, not for her, but for the hospice nurse to arrive. The drama feels small and pathetic, but I know it's not over. She's not going to let this go. Update 1, it's been about a week. My mom she's still here. She's weak, but she's lucid, and we're spending every second we can with her. Thank you for all the kind words. It means more than you know. The Korean situation unfortunately escalated exactly as I expected. 2 days after the airport incident, I had to go back to my condo to pick up some documents for my parents and get some more clothes. My sister Maya insisted on coming with me, which, thank God she did. As I was pulling into my parking garage, a car I didn't recognize peeled out and blocked me. It was Corinne in her best friend Tasha's car. Tasha was in the passenger seat filming me with her phone. Corinne jumped out, face streaked with mascara. "Leo, you can't ignore me. You have to talk to me," she screamed, banging on my window. I put the car in park. Maya just shook her head and started recording on her own phone. "Don't get out," she said. "Let me in my apartment." Corinne shrieked. "You have my things. You stole my things." "Corinne, I texted you," I said through the closed window. "Your things are in storage. Maya will coordinate a pickup. You're trespassing." "It's my home. I'll have you arrested." This went on for about 10 minutes. Her friend Tasha yelling, "Yeah, Leo, you're an abuser," while Corinne tried to pull on my car door handle. Finally, I just called building security. They came down and told her to leave the private garage. She refused, so they called the police. A patrol car showed up about 20 minutes later. 2 officers, one older, looked tired. One younger, looked annoyed. Corinne immediately ran to them, bursting into fake sobs. "Officers, thank God. My ex-boyfriend locked me out of my apartment. He kicked me out with nothing. He stole all my property. He's abusing me." The older officer sighed. "Ma'am, please calm down. Let's get his side." They walked over to my car. I rolled down the window. "Sir, what's going on here? This young lady says you illegally evicted her." "Good afternoon, officers," I said calmly. Maya was still recording, which the younger cop noted. "This is my condo. I am the sole owner." I pulled my driver's license with the address and my mortgage statement from the glove box and handed them over. Miss Corinne was my girlfriend. She lived with me as a guest. She is not on the mortgage or any utilities. I ended our relationship on Wednesday. Her belongings were packed and moved to a secure storage unit on site. I have repeatedly offered to coordinate a time for her to pick them up with my sister as a witness. She has refused. Corinne screeched, "He's lying. I paid rent." The younger cop looked at her. "Did you, ma'am? Can you show us a check, a bank transfer, a lease agreement?" "Well, no," Corinne sputtered. I paid for groceries and I decorated. That counts." The older cop handed me back my papers. "Sir, you're right. She's not a tenant. This is a civil matter, not a criminal one." "Ma'am," he said, turning to Corinne, "you need to leave the property. He has offered to return your belongings. You need to arrange a time with his sister, like he said. If you stay here, we will arrest you for trespassing." The color drained from her face. Tasha had stopped recording. "But my stuff." "Arrange a time," the cop said slowly. "Now, get in your car and leave." They fumed. Corinne got one last parting shot in. "You'll be hearing from my lawyer, Leo. You stole from me." They finally left. Maya and I went up. The apartment was so quiet. It was peaceful. But the entitlement didn't stop. The next day, Maya got a text. "I'm picking up my stuff. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I'm bringing my mom and Tasha." Maya replied, "Fine. You and one other person will be met in the lobby. You will not be allowed in the condo. You will be escorted to the storage unit. You can load your things, and then you will leave. I will be there with a witness." The next day, I was at my parents'. Maya went with our dad's friend, Al, a guy who is about 6'5" and looks like he eats rocks for breakfast, but is the gentlest person I know. Apparently, Corinne, her mom Brenda, and Tasha all showed up. Al and Maya met them in the lobby. Brenda immediately started. "This is ridiculous. You're treating my daughter like a criminal. After all she did for Leo." Maya, who has zero patience for this, just held up a clipboard. "Here is the inventory list. 28 boxes, 4 suitcases. You'll be escorted to the unit. You load your own stuff. Once you have it, you sign this paper confirming receipt, and you leave." They went down. They started loading. And then, the dirty trick I was waiting for. "Where is it?" Corinne said, her voice dangerously quiet. "Where is what?" Maya asked. "My laptop, my brand new MacBook Pro, the silver one." Maya was confused. "Your laptop is in box 12 marked electronics. It's your old white one." "No," Corinne shrieked. "My new one, the one I bought for the trip. It was in the bedroom. You stole it." Brenda pounced. "She stole it? Maya, you thief. That's a $2,000 computer. We're calling the cops again." Maya just looked at her. "Corinne, there was no new laptop in that room. I packed every single thing. Are you sure you're not mistaken?" "I am not mistaken." And then Tasha, the friend, made the fatal mistake. "Oh my God, Corinne, just tell them. It's not like it matters now." Corinne looked like she'd been slapped. "Tell them what?" Maya asked. Corinne looked at Brenda, then at Maya. The bill. It was on his card, the one he canceled." It all clicked for Maya. You bought a $2,000 laptop on Leo's credit card, knowing you were just an authorized user? He always pays." Corinne screamed, her face red. It was an early birthday present. He owes me, and now you've stolen it, and he canceled the card so I can't even pay for it. He's ruined my credit." She doesn't understand how authorized users work. It doesn't affect her credit, it's just my bill. Maya actually laughed. "Let me get this straight. You're angry because you tried to stick my brother with a $2,000 bill for a laptop he didn't know about. And you're mad because... What? We didn't find the laptop you must have? What? Had delivered somewhere else? Hidden? Corinne and Brenda just stared, caught. The laptop, it turns out, was at Tasha's house. She'd had it shipped there, probably so I wouldn't see the package. She was just trying to see if she could claim we stole it and stick me with the bill. All just crossed his arms. Take your boxes and go. They loaded the rest in furious silence, threw the signed paper at Maya and peeled out. I thought that would be the end of it. I really did. I was so naive. Update 2. This is hard to write. My mom passed away 3 days ago. She went peacefully in her sleep. My dad, Maya, and I were all there. The last 2 weeks have been a blur of grief and just emptiness. The funeral was yesterday. I've never felt so hollowed out. And in the midst of this, the world's most pathetic, entitled drama continued. About a week before Mom passed, I got a certified letter. My hands were shaking, thinking it was something medical. It was from a lawyer. Corinne was threatening to sue. She was demanding $2,500 for the MacBook Pro, a promised gift he refused to pay for, $1,200 for the value of the Las Vegas trip, $5,000 for emotional distress and illegal eviction, and $800 for a ceramic heron. I stared at that last one. A ceramic heron. A tacky, blue-glazed bird statue that I bought at a home goods store for $40 because she liked its vibe. She was now claiming it was a priceless family art piece that my sister had intentionally destroyed during the move. Maya confirmed it was in the knickknacks box, wrapped in bubble wrap. I just handed the letter to my dad, who was sitting at the kitchen table. He read it. His face, already etched with grief, tightened. "Don't worry about this, son," he said. "This is just noise. Focus on your mother. I'll handle it." My dad, it turns out, has a lawyer on retainer for his business. He forwarded the letter with a one-sentence email. "Handle this garbage." The lawyer sent back a response so scathing it probably singed the mailman's eyebrows. It outlined in brutal legal detail that Corinne, as a non-tenant, had 0 eviction rights, that promised gifts are not legally enforceable, and the $2,500 charge on my credit card was, in fact, potential financial fraud. That I, as the purchaser of the tickets, had every right to cancel my own purchase. That we had a signed inventory list for all her items, including the priceless $40 heron. And finally, that if she or her attorney contacted me or my family again while we were in bereavement, we would pursue a restraining order and sanctions for harassment. We heard nothing after that. The funeral came and went. I was standing by my mom's graveside and my phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. It was Tasha, the friend. "Leo, I know you probably hate us, but I had to. Corinne she's not right. She's telling everyone you are the monster, that you used your mom's cancer as an excuse to dump her and steal her money. I can't be around it anymore. She's toxic. I'm sorry for my part in this. I'm so sorry about your mom." I just stared at the text, used it as an excuse. But the real justice, if you can even call it that, came this morning. It's the only reason I'm even writing this update. I got a call from Corinne, from jail. I almost didn't answer, but the call was from the county booking number. I picked up, morbidly curious. Leo, you have to help me. You have to bail me out." She was sobbing hysterically. What happened, Corinne?" It's Brenda, my mom. We had a fight about the laptop. The bill came. I couldn't pay it. It's on my card. I opened a new card to buy it and I can't pay it." I was confused. "What does that have to do with..." She said I had to return it. I told her I couldn't. I'd already used it and she tried to take it, to return it herself. And I pushed her. I pushed her, Leo, and she fell. She hit her head on the coffee table and she called the cops. She called the cops on me. She was wailing. They arrested me. Domestic something. Assault. Leo, please, you have to call Brenda. Tell her to drop the charges. She'll listen to you, please. The sheer galactic level entitlement to call me, the man whose vibe she was worried about while his mother was dying, to ask me to save her from her own mother, who she assaulted over the laptop she tried to steal from me. I was quiet for a very long time. Leo, are you there? Please, it's cold in here. No, Corinne. No what? Please, Leo, I'll pay you back for everything. I love you. I made a mistake, a terrible. No, I will not be helping you. Not now, not ever. Do not call me again, we are done. But I get one phone call, you can't. I hung up. I blocked the booking number. My sister just came in. She heard my side of it. She did what? I told her. She was silent for a moment, then she said, well, sounds like she finally ruined someone else's vibe. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. I'm just empty. My mom is gone. And the person I spent 3 years loving is a black hole of entitlement, so dense, she's finally collapsing under her own weight. There's no grand revenge here. I didn't have to do anything. I just stepped out of the way. And she and her mother and her entire life just imploded. I'm gonna go sit on the porch with my dad. I'm done with this. It's finally actually over. Final update. It's been 6 months. Life goes on. The grief for my mom is still there. It's not a wound anymore, it's more like a scar. It's part of me. My dad and I have gotten closer than ever. We're getting through it together. I'm writing this last one because I feel like I owe it to everyone who sent kind words, and because the final, pathetic chapter just closed. Corinne's domestic assault charge against her mother, Brenda, was eventually pleaded down to a misdemeanor with probation and mandatory anger management. Brenda, apparently, refused to testify against her daughter, go figure. But the DA pushed it through based on the 911 call and her injuries. The real justice came from small claims court. Yes, she actually did it. Even after her arrest, her lawyer, a different, cheaper-looking one, filed a small claims suit. She had dropped the illegal eviction and emotional distress. Her lawyer probably told her that was a loser, but she was still suing me for $2,500, the MacBook, $1,200, the Vegas trip, $800, the priceless heron. I showed up. I didn't even need a lawyer for this. I just brought my binder. I wore a decent suit. I felt calm. Corinne was there with Brenda. Tasha was nowhere to be seen. I heard through the grapevine she'd moved 2 states away to get away from Corinne. Corinne looked rough. She'd gained weight, her hair was a mess, and she looked perpetually angry. The judge called our case. Corinne went first. She gave this tearful, practiced speech about how I was a controlling partner, how I'd promised her a birthday trip and this new laptop for her career, and then, in a fit of rage, took it all away. She claimed I'd locked her out and intentionally destroyed her family art. She never once mentioned my mother. Then it was my turn. Your Honor, I started, and my voice was steady. This isn't about a fit of rage, it's about a breaking point. I laid out my binder. Point 1, the trip and the laptop. Here is my credit card statement from the month before the trip. As you can see, I paid a $3,400 balance, which included Miss Corinne's plane tickets and other expenses. Here is the statement for the next month. I pointed to the charge. This $2,500 charge for a MacBook Pro was made 2 days before our trip. I was never consulted. Miss Corinne was an authorized user, not a joint owner. She purchased this expensive item on my credit line without my permission, assuming I would pay for it, just as I had paid for everything else. Point 2, the vibe. The day I canceled the trip, Your Honor, my family and I were making the decision to move my mother into hospice care. The judge's expression changed. Corinne and Brenda just stared at the table. When I informed Miss Corinne of this, her response was, and I have a recording of her friend Tasha confirming this in a voicemail, if you'd like to hear it, was that I needed to stop crying about my mom's cancer because I was ruining her Vegas vibe. The judge just looked at Corinne. For a solid 10 seconds. Is that true, ma'am? Corinne sputtered. It was. I was upset. He was ruining my birthday. The judge's face was stone. Go on, sir. Point 3, the heron. As for the $800 ceramic heron, here's the original box it came in, which my sister kept. I pulled out the box, which had the home goods store logo on it. And here is my bank statement from 2 years ago, showing the $40 purchase from that store. It's not a family art piece, it was a knick-knack. The judge looked at the receipt, then at the box, then back at Corinne. Ma'am, the judge said, you are wasting this court's time. You are attempting to profit from a man's profound personal tragedy. You lived in his home, rent-free. You used his credit card as your personal bank account, and when he was at his lowest, you berated him. And now you are here under oath, lying about a $40 statue. Corinne was bright red. Case dismissed, with prejudice. Then the judge looked at me. And sir, I am truly, deeply sorry for your loss. Brenda started to screech outside the courtroom. You humiliated her. You lied. You're a monster. I just looked at Corinne. All the hate, the anger, the pain, it was gone. I felt nothing. Just pity. She was pathetic. A 30-year-old woman living with her mom, in debt for a laptop she couldn't afford, with a criminal record, still screaming that everyone else was the problem. I just walked away. I didn't say a word. I heard from that same mutual friend that Corinne is now working as a cashier at a craft store. Brenda is apparently garnishing her wages to pay for the damage Corinne did to her house during their fight and for the legal fees. My life isn't a movie. I'm not healed. I miss my mom every single day. But my condo is quiet. My life is simple. My dad and Maya and I have dinner every Sunday. I'm starting to think about dating again, but I'm in no rush. The revenge wasn't some grand complicated plan. It was just dropping the rope. I let go. And she and all her entitlement fell right into the consequences she'd built for herself. I'm finally free. And that's enough. My wife demanded, "Give me your $100,000 inheritance. My sister needs a starter home." I replied, "You're right, it's for family." Then I transferred the full amount to a trust fund in my own name and showed her sister the access denied letter. Her panicked call from the bank. I, 35 male, am what you'd call a peacemaker, which is internet slang for doormat. I've spent the last 6 years married to Giselle, 33, and by extension, married to her entire family. My Maëlle, Noelle, and my sister-in-law, Bianca, 28, view my home as their timeshare and my wallet as their personal ATM. I put up with it. The endless brunches on my card, the emergency car repairs for Bianca, the constant, thinly veiled insults from Noelle about how I'm lucky Giselle settled for me. I put up with it because, well, I'm not sure anymore. 2 weeks ago, my favorite person in the world, my Aunt Clara, passed away. She was my mom's sister, a total firecracker who lived simply and never took grief from anyone. I'm wrecked. She was more of a mother to me than my own. Last week, her estate was settled. She left me her house, which I sold, and the cash just hit my account. $100,000. It's not change your life money, but it's a serious cushion. It's also blood money in my eyes. It's the last piece of her. I'm planning to just sit on it. Maybe invest it quietly. Giselle and her family have been acting weird, unusually nice, bringing me coffee. It's unnerving. The other shoe dropped last night. I was in the kitchen trying to figure out what to do with Aunt Clara's old landscape paintings. She painted them herself. They're not great, but they're hers. Giselle came in, followed by Bianca. This was a tag team. Alex, honey, Giselle started using that voice she uses when she's about to ask for a $1,000 handbag. We need to talk about the money. It's an inheritance, Giselle. It's not the money. It's from my aunt. Right, and she'd want you to be happy, wouldn't she? Giselle said. And you know what would make us as a family really happy? I just stared at her. Bianca, who has the financial sense of a goldfish, chimed in. A starter home. I found the perfect new build development. It's only a little bit outside the city, and it has a bonus room for my art studio. I felt the blood drain out of my face. A starter home. For you. Duh, Bianca said, as if I were an idiot. Giselle and I were talking, and it's just so perfect. The $100K would cover the whole down payment and the builder upgrades. We could finally get me out of that gross apartment. I looked at Giselle. She had her arms crossed, smiling, like this was a done deal. You want me to give Bianca my inheritance, my $100,000. Don't be so dramatic, Alex. Giselle snapped, her niceness vanishing. It's not for Bianca, it's for family. We're your family. She's my sister. What else are you going to do with it? Just let it sit there? That's selfish. This was the moment. The peacemaker in me was screaming to just find a compromise. Offer her $5,000, something to make them go away. But all I could see was my Aunt Clara, sipping her awful instant coffee, telling me, "Don't let those vultures pick you clean, Alex. You have a spine. Use it." The anger that hit me was so cold and so quiet, it actually scared me. I looked at Giselle, at her smug, expectant face, and the last 6 years of being a human ATM just curdled. I forced a smile. It felt like my face was cracking. "You're right," I said. Giselle's smile widened. Bianca literally clapped her hands. You're absolutely right. It's for family, and it should be used for something important. A starter home is a great idea. Oh my God, Alex, thank you. Bianca shrieked, hugging me. It felt like a snake coiling around me. This is so great, Giselle said, kissing my cheek. See? I knew you'd understand. We're a team. Absolutely, I said. So here's what we need to do. This kind of money transfer is complicated. Taxes, gift letters, blah blah. I need to set it up properly so it's all legal. Whatever, just get it done, Bianca said, already scrolling through a furniture website on her phone. I'll call my financial guy tomorrow, I said. I'll have him draw up the paperwork. We'll probably all need to go to the bank to sign it. I'll set it up for, let's say, Friday. Friday? That's so soon. They left the kitchen, giddy, talking about paint colors and housewarming parties. I stood there for a full minute. Then I pulled out my phone. I did not call my financial guy. I called my lawyer, the one I'd kept on retainer just in case for the last 2 years. Hey Greg, I said, it's time. I need you to set up an irrevocable trust. Asset protection, effective immediately. And I need to schedule a consultation for a divorce. Step 1, the trust, 8 p.m. Tuesday. I spent an hour on the phone with Greg. The $100,000 was an inheritance, received during the marriage but kept in a separate account in my name only. It was legally my separate property, but that could get messy in a divorce. Greg's advice? Move it. Now. He had the paperwork drawn up for an irrevocable trust. Beneficiary Alex, me. Trustee, Greg's law firm. This means the money is legally no longer mine to be accessed. It's held for me by a third party. It's untouchable. By Giselle, by Bianca, by anyone. Step 2, the setup, 8 a.m. Wednesday. I got an email from Greg with the finalized, notarized trust documents. The transfer was complete. The $100 was gone from my savings account and now resided in Fort Knox. The document was titled, The Clara, My Last Name Family Trust. I printed out the cover sheet, the one with all the legal jargon and the access denied stamp for unauthorized parties. It looked very official. Step 3, the lure, 9 a.m. Wednesday. I texted Bianca. Hey, big day. The bank needs us to sign the final papers. Be at the downtown branch of my bank at 1 p.m. on Friday. The big one with the wealth management office. This is the final transfer, so Giselle should come too. She replied with a dozen champagne bottle emojis. For the next 2 days, I was the perfect supportive husband. I listened to Giselle talk about how proud she was of me for finally stepping up as the man of the family. I nodded when Bianca sent me links to dishwashers. I felt nothing, just cold, quiet, methodical calm. The doormat was gone. Friday came. I put on my best suit. I met Giselle and Bianca in the lobby of the bank. Bianca was literally vibrating. Is this it? Is this where I get the check? She whispered, looking around like she was at the Oscars. Sort of, I said. We have to meet with the trust officer. She has the final letter. I'd called ahead. I knew exactly who to ask for. A senior VP I had a brief, professional acquaintance with. I hadn't told her the details, just that I needed to present a legal document to my family in a secure office, and I needed a witness. We were shown into a glass-walled conference room. Very serious. The VP, a woman named Ms. Alvarez, came in. Mr. My last name. Ma'am. Okay, let's do this. I have so much shopping to do, Bianca said, pulling out her phone. Here is the final paperwork regarding the funds, Bianca, I said. I slid the printed out cover sheet from Greg's office across the table. The one that said, The Clara, My Last Name Family Trust. Bianca looked at it, her brow furrowed. What is this? Trust? I thought it was a check. Giselle snatched it from her. She read it, her face went pale. Alex, what is this? She said, her voice dangerously quiet. Where is the $100,000? It's in the trust, I said calmly. Like I said, it's for family. My family, Aunt Clara's family. It's protected. Protected? Bianca squeaked. Protected from what? From you, I said. The silence in that room was absolute. Ms. Alvarez just watched, her face a perfect neutral mask. I don't understand, Bianca said, tears welling up. Where's my house money? There is no your house money, Bianca, I said. There never was. It's my inheritance. Giselle stood up. Her chair scraped loudly on the floor. You lied to us. No, I said, standing up as well. You lied to yourselves. You've been bleeding me dry for 6 years. This was just the final, disgusting straw. Demanding my dead aunt's money? For a starter home? You bastard, Giselle screamed. She was shaking. You, undo it. Miss Alvarez, he needs to undo this. Tell him to give us the money. Miss Alvarez looked at her coolly. Ma'am, I am only here as a witness. This is a legal trust document. The funds are not in a transferable account. There is nothing this bank can do. You. Bianca looked at me and just let out a wail. A full-on toddler in a toy store aisle wail. You promised me. I promised I'd put it to use for family, I said, adjusting my tie. And I have. It's safe. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a divorce consultation. I walked out of the conference room. I left them both there screaming. As I was walking through the lobby, my phone rang. It was Giselle. I guess she'd tried calling the bank manager, then her mom, and now me. I answered, just to hear it. Alex, you get back here. You get back here right now and you fix this. I'll... Giselle, I said, pushing open the glass door to the street. You should probably call a lawyer. I already have. I hung up. I know this isn't over. Not by a long shot. I'm heading to my lawyer's office now. I imagine when I get home, the locks will need to be changed. But for the first time in 6 years, I'm not a peacemaker. And I'm not a doormat. I'm just free. Update 1, it's been 2 weeks. I'm writing this from a sterile, soulless corporate apartment, but it's quiet and it's mine, so an upgrade. Thank you all for the comments. Validating to know I'm not the crazy one. To answer a few things. Yes, Greg, my lawyer, is a beast. And no, I never went back to the house. As I was leaving the bank, I called a 24/7 locksmith and had him meet me at my house. I got there 30 minutes before Giselle. I had just enough time to grab my laptop, my passport, my clothes, Aunt Clara's paintings, and my dad's old watch. I was walking out with the last box as her car peeled around the corner. She jumped out, face blotchy and purple with rage. Bianca was with her. Where are you going? Giselle shrieked. Out, I said, putting the box in my car. The locksmith was just finishing up. You can't leave. You can't just lock me out of my house. It's my house, Giselle. Premarital asset, just like the inheritance is my separate property. This was a bit of a gray area, but Greg told me to act with confidence. You'll be served with divorce papers tomorrow. Your name isn't on the mortgage. You have 30 days to vacate as per the law. 30 days? I'm not. I'll call the cops. I'll tell them you hit me. I just stopped. I looked at her. The threat, the ease with which she said it. The locksmith, bless his heart, had been recording the entire exchange on his phone. Did you just threaten to file a false police report, ma'am? He asked, not even looking up from his invoice. The color drained from her face. She recognized the game over moment. She just deflated, and the entitlement came roaring in to fill the vacuum. Fine, she spat. Fine, I don't want your stupid house anyway. It has your taste all over it, but I'm getting my share, and I'm getting that money. You wait, Alex, my mother will hear about this. I just got in my car and drove away. The next 48 hours were a blur of legal calls. I officially moved into the corporate apartment, paid for by me. The divorce was filed. Giselle was served. Then, the dirty trick I was waiting for. I got a call on Saturday from my bank's fraud department. Mr., my last name? We're calling about some unusual activity on your investment portfolio. My heart stopped. This wasn't the inheritance. This was my 401k and a separate brokerage account I'd had since before I was married. What activity? I said, trying to keep my voice even. Well, sir, we had 2 calls this morning. One from a woman claiming to be Bianca, my last name, your sister, trying to get your account balance. The call was flagged as it came from a blocked number. We denied her. My sister? She used my last name. Then, the agent continued, we received a second call about an hour later from a woman claiming to be you, or rather, she was a woman claiming to be a bank representative who had Alex, my last name, on the line to authorize a wire transfer. A wire transfer? To where? A new account. She said it was an emergency. The Alex she had on the line was, well, it was clearly just her trying to disguise her voice. It was very unprofessional. We, of course, locked the account and are filing a report. Bianca, the sheer idiotic criminal stupidity. She had tried to steal my retirement savings. I got off the phone, my hands shaking. This wasn't just entitlement anymore. This was a felony. I called Greg. He was silent for a moment, then he just said, oh good, this is very, very good. He requested the bank tapes and the official report immediately. The entitlement didn't stop. Later that day, my MIL, Noelle, called me. I answered on speakerphone, with Greg's advice to record it. "Alexander," she boomed. "No hello. You have 30 seconds to explain why you are trying to make my daughters homeless and destitute." "Hello, Noelle. Giselle is divorcing me, so I'm protecting my assets." "Your assets? You mean the assets my daughter helped you build? The support she gave you? The dinners she made?" Giselle hadn't cooked a meal since 2019. We lived on takeout. "What do you want, Noelle?" "You are going to undo that trust thing. You are going to give Bianca the $100,000 you promised her. And you are going to give Giselle the house and half of your savings as she deserves. Or else." "Or else what, Noelle? Are you going to threaten me too?" "Or else. We will make your life hell. You won't know what hit you. We will tell everyone, all your friends, your boss, what a monster you are. A financial abuser. How you hit her." My blood went cold again. "Noelle, are you also threatening to file a false police report?" There was a sharp intake of breath. I am telling you what a jury will believe. A poor, defenseless woman against a man like you? You do the math, Alex. Fix this. Now." She hung up. I sent the recording to Greg. His reply was one line: "We're going to win, and we're going to make them pay for this." Update 2 final. This is the last one. It's over. It's been 6 months of legal hell. 6 months of mediation, depositions, and watching my lawyer's bills climb. Giselle and her family were not normal. They were, as Greg put it, cartoonishly malicious. After the recorded threats, Greg filed for a temporary restraining order, which was granted. This kept them away from me in my office, which infuriated them. Their smear campaign was dead on arrival. The divorce proceedings were ugly. Giselle's lawyer was a shark, but a shark working for a client who had no concept of reality. They tried everything. The inheritance. They argued the $100K was a marital gift because I said, "You're right, it's for family." They claimed this was a verbal contract. The judge literally laughed. An inheritance, never commingled, put into a trust before papers were even filed. It was mine. Untouchable. The house. This was harder. Even though it was premarital, she had lived there for 6 years. We'd done some minor renovations, which I paid for. She was entitled to some of the value increase. This is the realism part, folks. I didn't get to keep everything. Alimony, she demanded $10,000 a month. Indefinitely. To maintain the lifestyle to which she is accustomed. Her lawyer argued she was a vulnerable spouse who sacrificed her career, her failed MLM, for my benefit. This is where my revenge, my real, satisfying, methodical revenge, finally came to fruition. We were in a final mediation session. Giselle, Noelle, for emotional support, aka glaring at me, Bianca, who was legally required to be there, and their lawyer. Her lawyer was laying out their final, non-negotiable offer. Giselle gets the house, I pay her to take it. 70% of my 401k, the $10,000 a month in alimony, and I pay all her legal fees. Greg just listened patiently. When the lawyer was done, Greg leaned forward. "Thank you for that creative proposal. We reject it. All of it. Here is our final, non-negotiable offer." He slid a single sheet of paper across the table. "My client, Alex, will sell the marital home. The equity will be split 50-50, as is fair. He will keep his retirement accounts as they are premarital. He will keep his inheritance. He will pay a one-time, lump sum alimony payment of $20,000. That is all." Giselle's lawyer scoffed. "And why exactly would we accept that? We'll see you in court. We'll destroy him." "No, you won't," Greg said, his voice dropping. "Because if you do not sign this agreement, by 5 p.m. today, I will be walking these files over to the district attorney's office." He pulled out a second folder. He opened it. "This," he said, "is the certified report from Mr. My last name, Spank, detailing Miss Bianca's attempts to access his accounts." Bianca went white. "And this," Greg continued, "is a high-fidelity audio recording of Miss Bianca on a taped bank line committing wire fraud and identity theft by impersonating a bank representative and her own brother-in-law." He pressed play on a small recorder. The room filled with Bianca's squeaky, high-pitched voice saying, "Yes, this is Alex. Mr. My last name, I need to authorize an emergency transfer." Bianca looked like she was going to be sick. "And this," Greg said, "is a recording of Miss Noelle threatening to file a false police report for domestic violence against my client, a criminal act in this state. And this is a text chain, subpoenaed from Miss Giselle's phone, where she and Miss Bianca coordinate the bank fraud attempt, which makes Miss Giselle an accessory to a felony. The room was silent. Giselle was looking at Bianca. Noelle was looking at the door. Their lawyer looked like he'd just swallowed a hornet. The lawyer stammered. This is coercion. No, Greg said. This is leverage. You came here to negotiate a divorce. Your clients brought a criminal conspiracy. My client is offering you a choice. You can sign this very fair, very final divorce settlement, and this folder goes into my shredder. Or you can all walk out of here, and Giselle can visit her sister and mother in prison for the next 5 to 7 years. He leaned back. Your call. Noelle started to mutter. They wouldn't. A woman. The DA loves open and shut cases of bank fraud, Noelle. They're very easy to prosecute, Greg said cheerfully. Giselle stared at the paper, then at Bianca, then at her lawyer. She grabbed the pen. She signed. It took another hour. Bianca and Noelle had to sign separate affidavits, swearing they would never contact me again. Giselle walked away with about $45,000 from the house sale. After paying her lawyer, she was left with almost nothing. She, Bianca, and Noelle are all living together in Noelle's small 2-bedroom condo. I heard from a mutual friend that Bianca is working as a cashier at a craft store, and Giselle is consulting again. I lost the house. I had to sell it. The legal fees took a huge chunk of my savings, though Greg, as a final few, got the judge to make Giselle pay for half the mediation fees, which was a small victory. I live in a new condo now. It's smaller, but it's mine. Aunt Clara's silly little landscape paintings are hanging on my wall. I look at them every day. It wasn't a clean win. It was messy, and it cost me. I'm not a hero. I'm just a guy who finally found his spine. They didn't learn their lesson. They're not sorry. They're just angry they got caught. And that's the most realistic and satisfying part of it all. They didn't get the money. They didn't get the house. They didn't get to ruin my life. They just lost.